What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Mock Draft Guy YouTube channel. And today we are rolling right along with our 7-round team mock drafts. We are up to team number 9, which is the Carolina Panthers. You read that title correctly. So, a couple things. First thing I want to say is, obviously, if you're watching and you take a look at the Carolina Panthers picks, I know it says number 2. I traded up to the number 2 pick because usually I do a couple test runs before I start recording, and the engine just kind of wasn't letting me pick who I wanted to pick in the first round, so I had to trade up. I didn't use any picks for 2023. I just used a couple picks just to kind of make it whatever, just so I can get the player that I wanted to. But I fully expect in the draft this player to be potentially available. So without further delay, I think we should just get into it with the 9th pick in the draft, but it's number 2 right now. At number 9, I'm looking quarterback here for the Carolina Panthers. Make no mistake about it, I don't think that the Carolina Panthers are really going to be in the market for any veteran quarterback. The only quarterback that I think I would at least entertain as a potential trade would be Lamar Jackson. It kind of makes a lot of sense. The Carolina Panthers have a lot of young assets. They have a lot of good picks. Mind you, all 7 of their picks in the draft are in the top 150 this year. So kind of an interesting draft. They're going to get some premium players, that's for sure, but they're really going to miss out on some of those roster filling 5th, 6th, 7th round picks, guys like that. But it's going to be a quarterback for me, and it's between CJ Stroud and Will Levis in real life. In my mock drafts, I've already taken CJ Stroud, so in reality, I'd take Will Levis. But, we've heard conflicting reports. We heard that lately they really, really love CJ Stroud, but we heard that ownership really is infatuated with Will Levis. So I'm going to go with that. I still think that Will Levis just kind of fits the Carolina, build. I don't know. I just look at him and I'm like, it kind of looks like a Carolina Panther. Maybe it's because of the Kentucky jerseys that honestly aren't even similar to the Carolina Panthers, but I am going to go with Will Levis here. I think it's a toss-up between the two at this point. It really just depends on if Carolina is not willing to trade up. It really just depends on who's going to fall to them. So I'm going to go with Will Levis here at number 9. Then with the Carolina Panthers' second pick at pick number 39, I kind of went a couple different ways with this. I went with an edge rusher a couple times, and then I was looking at the tight end position as well. Ian Thomas and Tommy Tremble, they don't really do it for me. They don't offer too much in the passing game. Ian Thomas was a decent player for a couple years, but I feel like he's fallen off in a big, big way. So I'm really looking for someone to establish themselves as a legitimate option in the middle of the field. And I'm going with Dalton Kincaid here at pick number 39. I think there's been a lot of conflicting reports that we could have upwards of 3 tight ends drafted in the first round, those guys being Darnell Washington, Dalton Kincaid, and of course Michael Mayer. I'm going to say that that's not true. I'm thinking that Kincaid and Washington are more of day 2 guys, early day 2 guys, that's for sure. But Kincaid has just a special blend of everything that you're looking for in an NFL tight end. I thought that if he came out last year, he would have been probably a 3rd or 4th round pick. So he went back to Utah this past year, and he really, really worked on his craft, and he upped his draft stock a lot. So especially since he's considered in the first round in some mock drafts. So I'm going to go with Dalton Kincaid here to be that staple, that rock in the middle of the field for whoever's playing quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. Now, with their second round pick at pick number 61, I'm going to go with a very, very intriguing prospect here. We're looking at Will McDonald IV. Now, I've seen him as high as like number 10 overall in some experts' mock drafts. I mean, he does have the explosiveness and the production to warrant something like that. He's coming off of 2 years. 2 years ago, 10.5 sacks. Last year, 11.5 sacks. Kind of toned it back a little bit with that. I believe it was 6.5 or 7 sacks this past year. He's got an interesting build, 6'4", closer to 240 pounds, so he's a little bit lighter in terms of being a 4-3 edge rusher, but I feel like if he was drafted to Carolina here, they could implement him in the way that Dallas kind of implements Micah Parsons, where Micah Parsons is 6'4", 43 pounds around there, but he's got the explosiveness, the strength. He's got everything you're looking for in an edge rusher. He's just not technically big enough to be an edge rusher. So I feel like Will McDonald is a similar build to Micah Parsons. I know that's a lofty comparison to make, but I feel like with the success that Micah Parsons has had in Dallas, we're going to see a lot of teams kind of use this outside linebacker hybrid in 4-3 like the Dallas Cowboys do with Micah Parsons. So I'm going to go with Will McDonald here to go on the opposite side of Brian Burns, who's an exceptional edge rusher. Then with Carolina's next pick here at pick number 93, I'm going to go with a little bit of interior offensive line help. I know that the Carolina Panthers last year got Ike Ekwonu in the first round. They went out, they signed Austin Corbett, they signed Bradley Bozeman. The Bradley Bozeman experiment, the one-year deal, hasn't really succeeded. He didn't have a great year. He didn't have a terrible year by no means, but he didn't have a great year. I think they let him walk, and they either go out in free agency and get someone that could play center, or they draft someone here like me. I'm drafting Joe Tippmann here from Wisconsin. He's got great size for the interior of the offensive line, 6'6", 317 pounds. If they do go out and find their center of the future in free agency, he's someone that could slot in pretty seamlessly at guard. He's close to that 320-pound mark. That's what I like my guards in the NFL. I like a nice, 6'3" to 6'6", 320 pounds for my guards. He's got incredible athleticism. He's incredibly strong. I think this would be a fantastic pick for the Carolina Panthers. Then with Carolina's next pick at pick number 114, I'm going to stay on the offensive side of the ball for this one, and I'm going to go with a wide receiver here. I'm really, really liking what A.T. Perry can bring to the Carolina Panthers offense. You have Terrace Marshall, who still hasn't lived up to his second-round pick status just yet. He had a much better year this year than he did his rookie year. And then you have DJ Moore, who is quietly one of the most solid and consistent wide receivers in the NFL. But A.T. Perry brings you something that they just don't have on this roster right now. And that is a 6'5", 205-pound red zone animal that not only could go up and get those jump balls, he could also stretch the field as well. He's got a bit of speed on him as well. I would love to see A.T. Perry in this offense, especially with someone like Will Levis throwing him the football. So I'm going to go with A.T. Perry here at pick number 114. Then at the next pick at number 132, I'm going with a athletic freak in the secondary. I'm going with Jatavius Martin. I mean, what is it with these Fighting Illini defensive backs? You got Devin Witherspoon, Sidney Brown, Jatavius Martin. All these guys had absolutely monster seasons. Martin, 2 interceptions, 9 pass deflections. He was all over the field for that Fighting Illini defense. 6 foot, 195 pounds. He brings some decent size to the safety or cornerback position. I love him to be this kind of rotational guy for now. While, they still have Xavier Woods, they still have Jeremy Chin. I'd love to implement him as a third safety, a rotational guy, maybe a slot cornerback as well. I think he'd be an excellent addition to the secondary of the Carolina Panthers. Then with the Carolina Panthers' last pick in the draft for now at 147, I'm going with a little bit of defensive tackle help here. Matt Ioannidis is a free agent. Derek Brown is one of the up-and-coming defensive tackles in the NFL, but they lack some real depth behind him. Ioannidis, like I said, is going to be a free agent. They could probably bring him back. He did okay for them, but you have Bravion Roy behind him. You have Marquand McCall. These guys, especially McCall, they haven't played too much. They didn't really make a big enough impact. I really, really like Jalen Redmond. If you guys are following what's going on at the Senior Bowl, you know that Jalen Redmond has only improved his stock up until this point. This is a guy coming off of 3 seasons in his college football career where he had 6 or more sacks. He is showing out at the Senior Bowl. He is a beast. He's really, really strong. He's dominating offensive linemen. I think this would be an excellent addition next to Derek Brown, whether they bring back Ioannidis or not. And ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. There is my full 2023 Carolina Panthers mock draft. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Please leave a like. Please leave a comment. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't. We are absolutely blowing up. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.